Hi, I am Rufina Tekunjie. I will be sharing a few slides on the presentation that I prepared for the Seminary in Educational Inquiry on Immunization. My main goal was to analyze whether the US government could make mandatory, vaccination mandatory for children in public schools. I attempted to provide the benefits and the effects of vaccines to see whether a mandatory vaccination plan would be more beneficial for children. Slide 2 is about the purpose of the study. The goal was to find out whether the US federal government could make vaccination mandatory for children in the US. In slide 3, I presented the agenda of the research. In slide 4, I analyzed the advantages of immunization. Immunization spare life to about 2 to 3 million people worldwide each year, and that an additional 1.5 million deaths could be prevented annually through vaccines. Vaccines can protect a child through passive and active immunity. Active immunity was produced by the person, while passive immunity took place when the child was given antibodies to a disease. Slide 5 is still about the positive effects of vaccines. Ellen Clayton argues that vaccines were widely recognized as one of the greatest public successes of the last century, significantly reducing morbidity and mortality from a variety of bacteria and viruses. The more children were vaccinated, the less sickness and the greater their life expectancy was. Slide 6 is still the continuation of the advantages of vaccines. Vaccines could reduce premature death rate for children. Ellen Clayton argues that out of 1,000 babies born in the United States, 100 died before their first birthday, often due to infectious diseases that could be prevented by vaccines. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the government spared life to millions of kids in the US by encouraging children vaccination against COVID-19. In slide 7, I tried to analyze why a universal vaccination plan could be crucial to protect more kids because the success of vaccination to preserve low levels of disease incidence depended on the population level of community immunity. also commonly known as herd immunity, which refers to the immunity of a group that was afforded when a high proportion of individuals were not susceptible to infection. In slide 8, I analyze factors that could be preventing the government to implement a mandatory immunization plan for children in public schools. Most of these factors have been pointed out by the anti-vaccine movement. Offit argues that ever since vaccines were introduced in the 18th century, questions and concerns about their safety have been voiced. Largent stated that he had also continued to be concerned about the growing number of vaccines they gave to children, their unintended consequences and problems that could arise from the increasing use of them. In slide 9, I summarize my findings on vaccination. Yes, vaccines have both good vaccines have both their good and side effects. However, even though some vaccines may have their side effects, making immunization mandatory in public schools will be more beneficial for children. Finally, in slide 10 through slide 12, I presented the works cited that I used in this presentation. Thank you all.